One of the first smoked foods I can remember eating would be ribs. I don't remember who made them, but I will credit my brother with making them since I know he really enjoyed cooking them. I will be following a similar process on how he would have done this, but with some simple seasoning. Speaking of simple seasoning, simply combine 4 parts salt to 1 part black pepper. You can skip the pepper if you want to keep it even more simple, but it does add a nice flavor to the end product. I like to prep my ribs on a baking sheet just for the sake of keeping things clean. Feel free to prep yours on the bathroom floor if that's more your speed. Today, I'll be using some St. Louis style spare ribs. It's just what I had readily available. You can always take spare ribs and trim them into St. Louis style yourself. No matter what you decide on, just know that you'll likely get at least 2 racks per pack. So, be ready to feed at least a couple of people or to have some leftovers. Trim them up if there are any unnecessary flaps hanging around. You don't have to go too crazy because almost all of this fat will render. You can also remove the silver skin on the backside of the ribs as well, but if you're feeling lazy like I was on this day, just score it and let it separate while it cooks. Once all of these small things are done, season both sides of these racks with your salt and pepper blend. It should look like your kitchen counter on a Friday night after hitting the club. That's right, press in those powdery flakes. Today we'll be smoking these ribs over applewood smoke, low and slow. 225 degrees Fahrenheit to be exact. This whole process should take about 3 hours in total with new steps at each hour. The first hour we will simply blast these meaty guys with smoke. When you open the smoker for the first time, you may notice that the ribs are looking a little dry. I'm going to use some white distilled vinegar to sprinkle on top of mine every 15 minutes. Also known as the rib spritzer hour. Feel free to use whatever liquid you want if you're not looking for that kind of flavor. Some ham base mixed with water would be nice here as well. After the spritzer hour, it's time to finish them off. They've gotten enough smoke and they need to get tender now. Simply place them in some parchment paper with your choice of liquid, preferably whatever you use during the spritzing hour, and wrap them tightly. Doing this will help to braise the ribs and to pull the meat back from the bone. After this final hour, they are ready. If you want to be meticulous about your rib tenderness, aim for about 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we can cut into these and reap the rewards of our zen-like patience. Time got away from me during the spritzing hour, so I only spritzed my ribs 2 times, and the tops dried out a touch. But you won't make my same mistake, will you? It's not too big of a deal because we have a decent smoke ring and a juicy rib. These aren't completely fall at the bone either, which is quite nice. I'm not a big fan of when I have to essentially drink my ribs and figure out where all the cartilage is, but these were simple and delicious. Just using salt and pepper really lets the ribs shine, a nice smoky flavor surrounding a juicy cut of meat.